Hello and welcome, students. Do you ever feel like your written sentences are just separate islands? Well, today we're going to learn how to build bridges between them. We're talking about linkers, or as they're also known, discourse markers. I'm Anjali, and I'm so excited to help you make your writing flow beautifully. Let's begin.
And I'm Priya. We've got a fantastic lesson lined up for you. First, we'll get into what linkers actually are. Then, and this is important, we'll cover the one golden rule of using them. After that, we'll open up our linker toolkit, find some examples right in your textbook, do a little practice, and wrap it all up with the key takeaways.
Okay, let's get right to it with section 1. So what are these linkers all about? And why are they so important for your writing? Let's break it down. Think of linkers as the glue for your ideas. They're the words and phrases that connect everything, sentences, clauses, whole paragraphs, to create a really smooth and logical flow for your reader. Just look at the example here. On the whole, the society was rigid. However, my teacher was a rebel. See? That one word, however, completely changes the direction and links two contrasting ideas. It's so powerful. In Telugu, we'd simply say, linkers ante vakyalu leda alochinunu kalipepadalu. So why does this matter so much? Well, these little words are doing a lot of work. They help your reader understand the structure of your writing. They show the relationship between your points. Are you adding something? Are you showing a contrast? This all helps to enhance the flow and build really strong, clear paragraphs. To put it simply in Telugu, Alochanala madhya sambandhani chupistai, rachanano spastanga chastai. Now that we know what linkers are and why they're so great, it's time for section 2. Before we get into all the different types, there is one very, very important golden rule that you have to remember. And here it is, the golden rule. Do not overuse linkers. This is so important. While they are incredibly helpful, using too many of them can make your writing feel a bit clumsy and unnatural. It can actually make things less clear instead of more. The key takeaway in Telugu is, Atyadhikanga linking words upyogiste, paragraph spashtata tagutundi. So use them, but use them wisely. Perfect. Now that we have that rule in mind, let's get to the fun part. In section 3, we're going to build your very own linker toolkit. Let's check out all the different tools you'll have at your disposal. So here it is, your writer's toolkit. We've got 6 main types of linkers to work with. There are linkers for addition, for contrast, for showing a result, for sequence, for showing similarity, and finally for ordering and summarizing. Let's take a closer look at each one. First up, we have linkers for addition. These are the words you use when you want to add a new piece of information or support a point you've already made. For instance, besides, there are several religions and beliefs. Here, besides tells the reader, hey, here's one more thing to consider. In Telugu, the meaning is quite direct. Besides ante adananga aniyartham. Next in our toolkit, we have contrast. You'll reach for these words when you want to show an opposite or a different point of view. A really common one is however. Look at the sentence. However, he tried to break social barriers. This signals a turn away from what was expected. The meaning in Telugu is, however ante aite leda gani. What if you need to show cause and effect? That's where linkers for result come in. Words like therefore and as a result are perfect for this. In the example, as a result, the forests could no longer contain the water. It's very clear that one thing led to another. In Telugu, this simply means as a result ante falatenga.
Okay, if you're telling a story or explaining steps in a process, you need linkers for time sequence. These words help organize events in order. For example, meanwhile, the horse pawed impatiently, tells us what was happening at the same time as something else. The Telugu translation for this one is, meanwhile ante, untalo.
Sometimes you want to show how two ideas are alike. For that, you use linkers that show similarity. Check out the example. Transportation improved. Likewise, trade improved. The word likewise creates a direct comparison, showing that both things improved in a similar way. In Telugu, we'd say, likewise ante alage.
And the last tool in our kit is for ordering and summarizing. These are so useful for structuring your arguments. You can use words like firstly and secondly to list your points, and then wrap everything up with something like to sum up. They make your writing super organized.
Great. Now that our toolkit is full, let's make this feel real. In section 4, we're going to see how these linkers show up in the very textbook you use every day. See? You've been reading these words all along. In your lesson, My Childhood,
the word however is used to show contrast. In Unity in Diversity in India, you'll find besides to add more information. And in The Brave Potter, meanwhile helps to show the sequence of events. They are already a part of your reading.
All right, we've covered the theory, and we've seen them in the wild. You know what that means? It's time for Section 5. Let's practice. Time to see what you've learned. Let's begin with our first exercise. All you have to do is choose the correct linker to complete each sentence. Take a moment to read through them. This is a great time to pause and think about your answers.
Nicely done. On to exercise 2. For this one, you need to use the words from the box to complete the paragraph. Really think about the flow and what makes the most sense. Go ahead and pause right here to work on it. And here we are at our final challenge, exercise 3. This time, you need to join the two sentences using the linker provided in the brackets. You might need to change the sentence around a little bit. Pause here and give it your best shot.
Okay, pencils down. Let's review the answers together. For exercise 1, number 1 is besides, because we are adding a reason. Number 2 is at the same time, to show two sides of the career. And number 3 is however, for contrast. For exercise 2, the paragraph flows logically with firstly, secondly, thirdly, next, and finally, with however at the end to introduce a caution. And for our last exercise, the correct sentences are 1. In spite of freezing temperatures, they trekked for hours. 2. It's such an interesting city that we will visit it again. And 3. Although we had very little money, we booked a holiday. Amazing job, everyone!
You all did so well with that practice. That brings us to our final section, number 6, where we'll go over your key takeaways from today's lesson. So, let's wrap this up. What are the most important things to remember? First, linkers are the bridges that connect your ideas and make your writing clear. Second, always pick the right tool, the right linker for the job. And finally, never forget the golden rule. Use them carefully and don't overuse them. To say it one last time in Telugu. Linkers వాక్యాల మధ్య సంబంధాన్ని చూపించి రచనను స్పష్టంగా చేస్తాయి. And so we leave you with a question to think about. With this brand new toolkit you have, how will you start connecting your ideas in your own writing? Thank you for being such wonderful students today. Keep practicing, and we'll see you next time.